Mia, a young woman, once had a vivid memory. She was swimming in the ocean when she saw her mother on shore calling out to her. Now, after years, she finds herself haunted by it. Mia gets out of the water and goes back into her high-tech home. A system monitors her well-being and gives her alerts about the weather, her health, and her daily routines.
Atmospheric pressure within the dome, 1 ATM.
Her husband, Arian, is a virtual designer who builds lifelike digital animals in a simulated world. Mia visits this environment through a special room filled with glowing light. After spending time with Arian and making plans for the day, she heads to her greenhouse to check on the automated equipment and harvest a few items for their meal. Later that evening, the couple shares dinner and tries to distract themselves from the pressure they're under. They're about to begin the mandatory parenthood evaluation.
What if we're not good enough?
Though they try to enjoy the night together, Mia's mind keeps drifting back to that long-lost memory of the sea. Once Arian falls asleep, she quietly slips away to check on her plants again. The next morning, their evaluator arrives. Her name is Virginia, and she'll be observing them closely for the next 7 days. The couple has the option to withdraw from the process if they choose, but for now, they're committed. Mia tries to find out what they'll be judged on, but Virginia refuses to give specifics, saying it's better if things stay natural. She wants to see who they truly are.
Is that a good idea?
Yes.
I was joking.
She begins her assessment by speaking to each of them alone, asking about their relationship, intimate moments, and their personal histories.
I love you. It just popped out. And he said, that's right.
During her interview, Mia shares that her mother and sister were taken to the old world when she was still a child, and her memories of them are vague at best.
She was sent to the old world when my sister and I were little, so I only have a few memories.
Virginia begins to suspect that Mia might have inherited her mother's rebellious views, having learned that her mother had once defied government authority. Mia quickly reassures her that she holds no such opinions and is fully committed to the system in place. When asked why they wish to have a child, Mia and Arian speak about their desire to contribute to a better future, to find deeper meaning in life, and to offer a child the sense of belonging they both value. Mia adds that while she feels grounded now, growing up, she didn't always feel that way. Then they show Virginia the room she would be staying in. She tests the bed and complains about the springs, though there aren't any, and disregards their correction. They offer their own bed. Once in their room, she seems satisfied.
Butter.
They take her to Arian's carefully designed virtual habitat. Arian tries to explain, but Virginia gives little reaction to the place. She then asks Mia if she has a workshop, and they take her to the greenhouse. In the greenhouse, she notes how little Mia owns from her past, observing a single flower as the only thing she kept from her mother.
Careful. Sorry, she's sensitive.
Virginia insists on full access to every corner of the property, which is already granted through the AI system. She also requires additional biological samples, urine, saliva, blood, hair, and more intimate fluids, despite the couple already having submitted everything earlier. At dinner, a food is served that was made using fresh ingredients from the greenhouse. Arian explains about the ingredients despite Virginia being uninterested.
She's found a way of harnessing the soil microbials into energy.
She then questions Arian about a scar he bears. He explains it was the result of an attack by radicals who opposed his digital animal creations. Ironically, his work was meant to protect real wildlife by reducing human interference. These extremists had bombed a university facility, and Arian had narrowly escaped through a window.
My shoulder, my collarbone, 3 vertebrae, and these burn scars.
The attackers were exiled to the old world. Mia agrees with the punishment, which causes Virginia to quietly reflect, perhaps wondering if Mia believes her own mother deserved the same fate. That night, as the couple prepares for bed, Arian warns Mia that Virginia is deliberately bringing up painful memories to provoke a reaction and advises her to stay composed.
Okay, it's honestly how it works. We just need to stay cool, not react.
They try to lose themselves in intimacy, only to be startled when they notice Virginia silently observing from the shadows.
Oh fuck. Virginia! Virginia!
Oh my god.
She states that evaluating their physical relationship is part of the process. Despite their discomfort, the couple feels forced to comply, knowing their chances of parenthood depend on it. The next morning, they notice mysterious pouches of baby food delivered to their home. When they ask Virginia about it, she gives no explanation, only toys idly with a spoon, offering nothing in return but silence and an unsettling smile. During breakfast, Virginia begins behaving oddly, mimicking the actions of a young child. She bangs her bowl on the table and pushes it around in frustration. Mia, trying to keep the situation under control, becomes visibly tense. When her tone shifts slightly, Virginia accuses her of yelling. The tension spikes further when Mia slams her fist on the table without thinking.
Virginia.
Trying to diffuse the chaos, Arian turns to distraction. He uses playful prompts and silly games to encourage Virginia to eat.
Oh, it's going really fast.
It works to a point. She starts eating on her own, but soon turns it into a game of her own, tossing spoonfuls of food at them. When some of it hits Arian's eye, he lets out a curse, and Virginia begins parroting the profanity over and over as he stumbles to the bathroom. Mia joins him there and helps him flush his eye with drops. They both agree, whatever this is, they need to start drawing some lines.
Children respond to boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Returning to the kitchen, they're stunned to find food smeared across nearly every surface, and Virginia nowhere in sight.
She's having a little fun with us, Luke. Can clear this up.
It's everywhere.
As they search the house, it becomes clear she's left a trail of disorder in every room. In Arian's virtual lab, the noise is overwhelming, his carefully designed space now filled with chaotic sounds, while Virginia twirls and dances, seemingly oblivious. The couple shouts over the noise, trying to reason with her. Finally, Arian manages to shout above the din, bringing it to a halt. He tells her the space isn't a playroom.
This is not a toy.
That night, a strange delivery arrives. A flat-packed toy house meant for the child they hope to raise. Virginia informs them it must be fully assembled by morning. The pieces are strange in shape, and the instructions are vague at best.
No, the orange pieces, they just sit on top. They're not doing any connecting.
Despite their best efforts, their first attempts crumble. The structure falls apart just as they think they're making headway. Determined not to fail, they push through the night and eventually complete it, but one odd-shaped piece remains unused. The manual warns that all components must be incorporated for safety. In a moment of instinct, Mia races to the shore and throws the leftover piece into the sea. When Virginia inspects the toy house the next morning, she nods in approval. Not only does she praise their effort, she decides this new room will now be hers, and asks them to fetch her belongings.
Let me get my bag. I slept terribly.
Later, she watches Arian at work in his simulation space. She unexpectedly opens up, sharing a grim memory from her past. When the government ordered pets to be culled, she couldn't bear the idea of her dog being taken by a stranger, so she ended his life herself, then cried for days.
I remember him looking at me, his big, trusting eyes.
Arian invites her to touch one of his latest creations, a lifelike virtual monkey. She's amazed by the realistic texture of its fur. Just as suddenly, she declares she's bored again and demands a game.
Go ahead.
What?
When Mia comes to check on them, she's surprised to find Arian and Virginia behaving like animals, leaping and growling at each other inside the simulated jungle.
We're playing tigers.
Sure.
The following day, the trio heads to the coast. Mia and Arian have to keep a close eye on Virginia to prevent her from wandering off or doing something dangerous. They end up playing hide and seek, but Mia grows increasingly unsettled. No matter how hard she tries, the other two never seem to seek her out or engage her the same way. Worse, Virginia keeps calling Arian Daddy. When the others begin shaping a sandcastle together, Mia tries to join in, but Virginia abruptly abandons them and starts sculpting a separate one on her own. The distance between them grows more palpable, doubt starts creeping in.
Don't let her get to you.
and Mia begins to question whether she's cut out for this role at all. Arian gently reminds her she's not destined to repeat her mother's story.
She left you. You would never do that.
Just then they realize Virginia is missing, her shoes are floating near the shore, and for a brief heart-stopping moment, it seems like she might have drowned. A wave throws her back onto the sand, and Mia runs to help. But Virginia, cold and shivering, shrugs her off and walks away. Mia's patience snaps. She wonders aloud if it would have been better to let her go.
So next time I'll just let you drown then, huh?
This makes Virginia angry, and she storms off, and Arian quickly reprimands Mia for her outburst.
This is how we get a real child.
As they head home, Virginia asks Arian to carry her. When rain begins to fall, his old injury flares up, forcing him to set her down. Mia offers to carry her instead, but Virginia refuses.
I'll carry you. No, I don't want you. I want Daddy. Well, I'm all you've got.
Outside their door, she stops and resists going in. Mia calmly tells her that if she still hates her, she can do so in the warmth of the house. That somehow convinces Virginia to follow. Later, as Mia helps Virginia bathe, the mood shifts. They laugh and play with the bubbles. While brushing the girl's hair, Mia recalls how her own mother used to do the same for her. She even kisses Virginia gently on the head. Soon after, a letter arrives announcing a formal dinner the couple must host that evening. It's part of the evaluation. Everything must be perfect. Mia and Arian scramble to prepare, cooking their best dishes and dressing as elegantly as possible. Guests begin to arrive. Virginia makes a dramatic entrance, emerging from the toy house, pretending to be a small child.
Welcome! This is Virginia.
During dinner, one of the attendees, Walter, fondly praises Mia, calling her a former star student. His wife Evie watches with visible discomfort. In private, Mia pulls Arian into the kitchen. With tension in her voice, she explains the truth. Before she ever met him, she had been involved with Walter. She was very young then, and didn't understand what was really happening. Only now does she see how much she was taken advantage of. Arian is quick to steady her, reminding her that this dinner and the guests themselves were never neutral.
People are here to throw us off. That's the game.
When the couple returns to the table, the atmosphere is tense. Mia focuses on Virginia, helping her eat and making sure she doesn't choke as she plays with her food. The tension only deepens when a late guest arrives, Arian's mother. She is not happy to be here.
You know, I was having a perfectly nice time in the gym when I got the call.
Virginia continues to act out, forcing Mia to stay alert, while the adults begin debating whether raising children in such a depleted world is even ethical.
It's an indulgence.
That's
How?
debatable.
Because we don't have the resources.
Some mention whispered rumors from the other side of the border, claims that life is starting to return, that people are recovering, even reproducing. A few believe the old world might one day be rebuilt.
Trying to find out
How would they even have babies without the assessment?
from their own wombs.
As the conversation shifts toward the need for population control, Virginia becomes restless. She bolts from her seat, and Mia follows until the child settles beside the guests. When Mia tries to guide her away, Virginia lashes out and strikes her.
It might just be control that brat.
But instead of reacting in anger, Mia stays calm. She assures the child she isn't upset, and slowly, Virginia begins to cooperate again. The group attempts a celebratory toast, but the moment collapses when Arian's mother reveals a secret. He once tried to start a family with someone else, but the authorities rejected the request.
Obviously, it didn't work out.
The room falls silent. Mia, stunned and hurt, excuses herself and heads into the kitchen. Arian follows, explaining quietly that he kept it from her to avoid causing pain, and asks if they can discuss it later. When they rejoin the dinner, Evie seizes the opportunity to attack Mia's roots, speaking poorly of her mother and everyone left behind in the old world. She proudly reveals her age, 153, and insists she remembers what the Earth was like before the collapse. Virginia climbs into her lap and innocently asks her to tell the story.
You comfortable? Right.
Evie obliges, recounting the brutal early days after society crumbled, describing how splitting humanity into two separate worlds was a sacrifice necessary for survival. She warns that the younger generation is risking everything by trying to bring children into it again. Then, without warning, Evie recoils in disgust. Virginia has peed on her. Furious, she shoves the girl to the floor.
Get off me! Okay.
Mia rushes to her side. Seeing Virginia hurt and hearing Evie mutter that bad parenting runs in the family, something inside Mia snaps. She strikes Evie across the face.
Seeing a bad mother.
After the guests finally leave, Mia gently puts Virginia to bed. She's surprised and moved when the girl quietly thanks her for standing up for her.
Thank you, Mommy.
But what follows catches her completely off guard. Virginia kisses her softly on the lips. Shocked, Mia pulls away immediately. Still shaken, she heads to her bedroom, where a heated argument erupts with Arian about the secret he kept. Unbeknownst to them, Virginia is awake and listening. Arian explains that he was afraid she'd think he wasn't good enough, or that their future together wasn't enough.
That if you knew Serena, felt I wasn't good enough, that you'd feel the same.
The tension between Mia and Arian finally softens as they apologize to each other. They both admit that the process is pushing them to their limits, but they find comfort in the fact that it's almost over, just 2 more days. What they don't realize is that Virginia is quietly listening nearby. Later that night, the couple is awakened when Virginia appears in their doorway, claiming she had a nightmare. Arian gently tells her to return to her bed, but Mia, feeling sympathetic, pulls back the blanket and allows her to crawl in between them.
It's okay. Just let her sleep here.
The following morning, a call from the hospital shatters their routine. Mia is told that her sister has suffered an embolism and is now in critical condition. She prepares to travel immediately.
We're good?
They don't know they're running tests. They just said to get there as soon as I could.
But Arian expresses concern. They're still in the middle of an evaluation, and leaving now could jeopardize everything.
But Mia, you hardly ever see her.
I'm the only family she has.
When they inform Virginia, she calmly states that while Mia is free to go, doing so will automatically void the assessment. A heated exchange follows. Mia argues that responding to a family emergency should not disqualify them. After considering this, Virginia agrees to allow it, but under one condition: Mia must return before 6 a.m. sharp.
Not a moment later.
That night, Arian tries to sleep alone, but hours later, Virginia slips into the room again. Claiming she's had another nightmare, she climbs into bed and slowly turns the moment into something else entirely. She tells Arian this is part of the test, something private between them. Though Arian tries to refuse, she hits him and persists until he stops resisting. They got intimate. When Mia returns early the next morning, she finds both of them in bed. Without a word, she slips in between them, unaware of what happened in her absence. Over breakfast, Mia explains there had been a mistake. The person in the hospital wasn't her sister, just someone with the same name. Arian grows uneasy. He begins to suspect Virginia may have orchestrated the confusion. Trying to lighten the mood, Virginia calls Mia mommy, and her playful tone makes Mia smile. But later, as Mia heads off to swim, she asks Arian to watch the girl. Virginia interrupts his work repeatedly, demanding attention. Arian promises to play later, needing to finish his tasks. Frustrated, she wanders outside, calling for Mia. Her voice is lost to the wind and waves.
Mommy!
Angered by being ignored, Virginia heads into the greenhouse. Arian is busy with work. What begins as petty destruction escalates fast. She rips through the garden, yanks out wiring, and tears apart the gas lines. The damaged wiring and gas line in the greenhouse spark ablaze. Flames rise quickly, and Virginia, trapped inside, begins to panic. She calls out for her parents, but the thick smoke chokes her words. Her strength fades fast, and debris from above crashes down, sealing off the exit. She can't get out. Meanwhile, Mia is returning from her swim when she spots the smoke rising into the sky. her walk turns into a sprint. At the same time, Arian is working inside the house, unaware, until the AI system alerts him to a critical situation in the greenhouse. He heads toward it but freezes. The sight of the fire sends him spiraling, haunted by memories of the explosion at the university lab.
I am trying! I can't move!
Mia reaches the building and begins kicking at the door. It's jammed shut, blocked by wreckage. Thinking fast, she grabs a stone and smashes part of the door until she's carved a narrow opening. Inside, she finds Virginia barely conscious. Mia drags the girl to the hole and forces her through to safety. Once they've cleared the danger, Mia looks back at what's left of her greenhouse, her passion, her pride, engulfed in flames. That night, Virginia sits at the dinner table in silence. She refuses to eat, eventually walking away without a word. Mia follows her to the beach, confronting her about the destruction of the greenhouse.
Do you even know what you're doing anymore?
But Virginia says nothing. She simply walks away again, leaving Mia staring into the dark sea. The next morning, Virginia delivers the news their application has been denied. They will not be granted a child.
You can't do that.
Arian explodes, horrified that everything he compromised himself for was in vain. He reminds her she told him he needed to do it for the assessment.
I never said that.
Mia realizes what happened between them. She is stunned beyond words and breaks into laughter, a sharp, empty sound. Virginia says nothing, ignoring Arian's rage as she quietly exits. The couple eats lunch in silence. Later, while cleaning out the toy house, Mia finds the missing piece, the piece Virginia had used to sabotage the greenhouse systems. Fury overtakes her. She storms back home, smashes the toy structure with a shovel, and sits in the wreckage. Arian finds her there, trembling with rage and grief. He wraps his arms around her and holds on until she settles. Then he tells her there's something he wants to show her. In the glowing light of his virtual lab, Arian reveals a digital child. A baby girl he designed just for her. Mia lifts the virtual infant and smiles for a brief, shimmering moment. But then, she places the child back down.
She doesn't smell of anything.
Desperate, Arian begs her to reconsider, to imagine a future where they can still be happy, just the two of them. But Mia's eyes are already somewhere else.
I need to know why we failed.
Why?
Sometime later, Mia tracks down Virginia, who's now living in a cramped, run-down apartment. When Virginia threatens to call the authorities, Mia calmly refuses to leave, not until she finally understands why they were truly rejected. The confrontation between Mia and Virginia stretches into a bitter, exhausted argument.
I'm a monster.
So it's normal for you to f someone's partner?
But eventually, Virginia breaks. Her voice shakes as she reveals the truth. No one has been approved to have a child in 6 years. The evaluations are little more than theater, designed to give the public hope to keep society from crumbling under despair. Behind the curtain, it's all a lie. Assessors are promised their own children if they comply, if they perform well enough. But the reward is never given. Most can't take the strain. They crack and walk away within a week.
Assessors usually burn out.
And then Virginia confesses something even heavier. She had a daughter once. She's dead now.
She's present.
Mia listens, her anger gone. She offers a few words of comfort, and as the silence settles between them, gently asks if the rumors are true, if people really are rebuilding the old world. Virginia doesn't answer.
It's not much of life.
Days later, Virginia is sent to begin another family evaluation. But something in her has fractured beyond repair. In the middle of the visit, she steps onto the balcony of the couple's home and ends her life. Mia makes a decision. She travels to the edge of civilization and receives clearance to cross the border. Back in the new world, Arian finds solace in an illusion. He spends his time in virtual reality, speaking to a lifelike replica of Mia and a digital daughter they never had. Dressed in a hazmat suit, Mia enters the old world. The weather is brutal. Wind lashes the ruins, dust clouds swirl, and the land is harsh. Still, she stops walking, unseals her mask, and pulls it off. The air bites at her skin, stings her eyes, but she breathes it in deeply anyway. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.